The first pro regarding the 2025 Lexus RX plug-in hybrid is going to be its overall rather tranquil and relaxed driving nature out on the road. This SUV, it's gone for that kind of hovercraft feel, if you will. It's got rather light steering. The ride quality is pretty good. It feels effortless to drive and place out on the road. Plus, you can be doing like 20 miles an hour over the speed limit and not even realize it in this plug-in hybrid RX. Again, it's offering you a rather soothing experience. But a con that I've noticed with this RX 450h Plus, it's going to be when you accelerate. We have here this naturally aspirated 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine. It does have a rather coarse sound, although to be fair, this is much quieter than the 2023 RX 350h that I got to review about 2 years ago. That vehicle almost had like an abrasive sound to your ears. This is not that bad, but it's just a subtle con that I wanted to bring up. Otherwise, I would say that the speed and power of this SUV, it's pretty decent. I think on paper, this is the second quickest RX. It does 0 to 60 in about 6.2 seconds. It's got a combined total system output of 304 horsepower. It's not going to light your world on fire, but it does feel potent at all times during your everyday drive. And I alluded to this before, but yeah, the overall just refinement here is very good because we have thick double pane glass being used on the front side windows here. The ride quality is good despite having the larger 21-inch wheels. You do notice some subtle small bumps being transmitted through, but the seats are just so comfortable, it kind of just soaks everything up. And that's going to be the next pro here. You know, if you're coming from a previous generation Lexus product, I find that the seats in these luxury trim level SUVs, they are super comfortable. I feel like you can do a lot of miles in this, but seating comfort is rather subjective, so check it out for yourself. Now, a con regarding the plug-in hybrid version like we have here would be the overall curb weight. This weighs about 4,810 pounds. It's about 500 pounds heavier than a all-wheel drive RX 350. And a little over 300 pounds heavier than the RX 350h hybrid. But the overall handling demeanor, it's rather similar to the other SUVs that I just mentioned. You do notice some lean in the corners, but it's not a big deal. And I guess if you want to label this a con, the absolute limit driving of this is not the best. When you're taking corners aggressively, this SUV has a tendency to plow out, and it's going to be pretty much squealing its tires. But I don't think anybody who's interested in this SUV is going to be driving like that, so it's a bit of a moot point. I would say that the overall interior space is a pro. There's a decent amount of solidity here. I like the technology with the massive screen. It's easy to use. We have the wireless Apple CarPlay and the Android Auto. The plug-in hybrid models like you see here, they pretty much come fully loaded. There's a few other, options and accessories that you can choose from, but for the most part, you have all the important things like the heated and cooled seats. For the front and the rear occupants, you have the heated steering wheel, you have a 360 camera, digital gauge cluster, wireless charging pad, you have the heads-up display, and of course the top-tier Mark Levinson audio system. That's another big pro, one of the best audio systems that you can get in a vehicle. So yeah, if you're interested in an RX, I would try to get the ML audio. Now, a con here would be the climate control. I mean, it's all pretty much embedded into the screen. That's not my most favorite design, but it is intuitive, it is easy to use, but I just thought I would bring it up. Another thing I'm not a big fan of is the piano black finish that they are using throughout the front cabin here around the infotainment and this air vent. That's got a bit of a generic vibe to it, but overall, I would say that they have done a good job with the design of this cabin. You also have a lot of space in this cabin. The door pockets are good. The center armrest is massive. You have space for like 3 cell phones. We've got 2 cup holders here. The glove box is decent, although right now we have the books there. And the rear seating space is rather good. I'm 5'11", I can easily fit behind myself. Getting in and out of this SUV, it's excellent. So yeah, the ergonomics are on point. And once again, because this is essentially a fully loaded model, you have the heated and cooled seats in the back. Seating comfort is good back there. You also have the manual sunshades in the rear as well. I appreciate this suede headlining material. And we also have a pano moonroof here as well. The trunk space is another big pro. It is absolutely massive back there, but 2 cons to mention would be with these higher trim level RX vehicles, if you ever want to put down the second row seats, you have to electronically put them down by pressing a button. That is a bit time consuming. I would rather just have a manual release to put down the second row seats. And something else to mention is this plug-in hybrid, it does not have a spare tire in the back. That's a bit unfortunate. So I would certainly label that as a con. But pros with the plug-in hybrid, of course, you have 37 miles of pure EV range. That is nice, but if you're going to be looking at the total range that this SUV has to offer, it's pretty much going to be a wash when compared to the regular hybrid. They're all going to get about the same total range. Why is that? That's because the plug-in hybrid, it has a slightly smaller fuel tank. It's a little over 14 gallons, whereas with the rest of the lineup, you get a little over 17 gallons of total fuel capacity. But yeah, it is nice to be able to drive on, you know, an all-electric range if you're commuting to work and you're able to charge this. Plus, the high-speed stability of this is excellent. You know, I had this thing up to like triple-digit speeds. There were some crazy wind gusts, and this thing held its own. The stability is excellent. So well done there. And since you made it to the end, make sure to check out this video on the end screen here, where I talk about all of the latest updates for the 2025 RX. And I also share in this video how consumers can save a substantial amount of money on the new Lexus RX. So if you appreciate that, check out that video. Thank you again for watching. Have a blessed day.